Okay, the X-Files fans, we are here to talk about season 11, episode 4. I can't believe there's been 11 seasons. The title was The Lost Art of Forehead Sweat, written and directed by Darren Morgan, one of the greats on the X-Files. He's the only writer to win an Emmy, so I wonder if Chris Carter is a little bit jealous of that fact. I'm here with Rob Licuria. You're in Australia. Daniel Montgomery, you are in New York, and I'm here in Los Angeles. But Daniel, I want to come to you first. This is one of your favorites of the season, right?
Yeah, it is. And I did really appreciate the humor of this episode. I was very nervous watching last week's preview because it looked so broad and over the top that I'm like, this could be one of those kind of classic tonally different X-Files episodes, or it could just be all over the map. And it was a little all over the map, but I think it still had the ideas that were interesting enough to me, the way it folded in this idea of subjectivity and, the Mandela effect, and I think this episode did a much better, had a much better way of incorporating kind of like the Trump era ideas of, what is truth, truth doesn't matter anymore, while also being really funny and inventive. So I this is an enthusiastic thumbs up.
And Rob, you said this is the worst episode you've ever seen in your life, right?
No, I wouldn't go that far. But there were parts of it that I loved. There were parts of it that I just was like, let's just get on with it. I just felt it was slightly off with its pacing. Like, I'm being a bit nitpicky. To be honest, it's probably the best episode of the season so far for me, but I didn't love it. Like, it's no Clyde Bruckman, and it's no Humbug. It's no Jose Chung's from Outer Space, because they're like gold standard Darren Morgan. Even War of the Coprophages is pretty damn good. I didn't like the Were Monster episode from last season that much, and this one is in the same boat. There's a few reasons probably why I didn't really buy it, but what I loved was the whole alien stuff towards the end, especially when he's going back up the steps into his UFO and does the whole Trump bing bong thing. I almost fell off the couch.
I liked when he was coming down the escalator, and I realized now that was also a Trump joke that I didn't get.
Yeah, the whole thing.
It's coming down, and it's just so slow as it goes down.
Fantastic.
And then he goes around and gets on the Segway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that actor playing his voice? Was that someone famous? Because I didn't recognize the voice.
I don't know.
I didn't recognize either. I'm on the IMDb page, so I'm gonna.
It's like he was like a original series Star Trek villain type alien. Yeah. It's not the usual alien. Like, when he's behind the curtain, you think, okay, it's just going to be one of those regular big head, big eye aliens, and then you open it up and it's got a moustache. You think, oh, okay, this is pretty damn good. So all that stuff worked quite well. It was there was a lot of scenes in the car park with.
About
Reggie.
Maybe too many scenes down there.
Too many. Where it was just went on and on and on and on and on. They're talking about the Mandela effect or whatever the hell he thought it was called, and I don't know. And Brian Husky, I think that's his name. To me, he's just always going to be that really snarky media guy from Veep. So I just found it slightly difficult to just go with it. I think so. There were problems. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, see, I'm not a regular watcher of Veep, so I have much more positive associations with Brian Husky. I've seen him in a number of places. He's that kind of comic actor you see in like commercials and online, and he's done some web videos and stuff. And I'm always happy to see him. I thought this was a really great, funny role, but it felt like a real role too. Like I put him on the level of last week. Karen Sonoval, I think it was.
Karen Konoval.
Yeah.
Konoval, sorry. My apologies. It's on the same level in terms of a guest performance. I really appreciate it.
I did have some issues. It wasn't a perfect episode. I guess I'll say my favorite part first was, I guess it was around the 45-minute mark when the episode kind of restarts with the theme song, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then it includes Reggie in the theme song. And then we see all of the most famous episodes of all time, all these clips with Reggie, Forrest gumping himself into them.
Yeah.
And some of them looked a little better than others, but it was I was smiling ear to ear. I'm like, this is genius. I can't believe this is actually happening. It was great.
Now that we know the truth about the history, now we can start speculating about whether Reggie is the actual father of William.
Yeah, it's possible. Everyone's had a
don't
time.
know. He was clearly around during that period.
What are your sorry, my cat. What are your theories? Do you think Reggie was actually a part of the group and that everyone's minds were wiped? Because I just like thinking of that idea. It's kind of cool.
Yes, I do actually. Like, especially, well, you know, Skinner came out and said, where do they take Reggie? So I love that as well. So I think so. Like, even though I like Fox Mulder's, you know, alternate reality theory, I don't buy that one. I think Reggie was always part of it. He was an integral cornerstone of the team, and unfortunately, though, Dr. They wiped their memories.
Mulder did have a partner named Reggie Purdue before Scully joined him. So this is like pre-X-Files. And I was reading an interview at Kimberly Roots TVline.com, our sister site. And she asked him, like, you know, why would you name this character Reggie? Because he already had a partner named Reggie. And he basically said, oh, Chris Carter told me about, you know, the former Reggie. And I just chose to forget that.
Fair enough.
How awkward.
Or he chose to remember it. Maybe it's the same Reggie, but we are misremembering it, and Chris Carter is also misremembering it in a way.
Right.
So that it kind of fits in.
It does.
Okay, so now my issue with the episode was there didn't seem to be a plot. Like there was no crime, there was no murder that had to be solved. It was just, like Rob said, a lot of talking, a lot of fantastic dialogue, very quirky, very funny dialogue. But I kind of wanted more of an investigation.
Yeah, I think that's the reason. I think there was nothing like grounding it into like a purpose, and so like they were exploring the Mandela effect, and then they encounter Reggie, and then they work out that the X-Files started with him. Great, like plot-wise, not really there. Dialogue, fantastic, very funny, and ridiculous. Like if this is the first time you've seen a Darren Morgan episode, you're probably wondering what on earth is happening. Why is this so silly? For those of us who are familiar with his work, yes, it was it was funny and very well done, especially towards the end when they got out of that damn car park.
Mm-hmm.
I like the car park. I honestly liked all the scenes there. I thought there was more plot than you guys think there was, just because the plot is working in such kind of like a circular way where they're trying to figure these things out, and so it is kind of an investigation. It's just not it's not linear in the way we've seen past investigations. They're investigating their memories, they're investigating their history, their past, their present, and potentially their future.
It's not like a classic plot where you have a murder in the teaser and then Mulder and Scully get involved and they investigate. It's more of a, like you said, a circular, more original type plot, I guess.
Yeah.
What else did we like? The scene with Mulder and Dr. They did go on a little bit too long, but it was fun to watch. And I don't know where they were with all those monkeys behind them, but what a great location that was. Is it an actual place?
I assume so. I was trying to work it out myself. Where are they? It's a really, really good location. Very, very good job in finding that. But I have no idea. And Dr. They that was a little strange. He was just a weird character that I didn't quite get. And again, it was just like, it seemed a lot of random stuff in this episode just didn't quite gel for me. And he was probably one of them.
Did you like the moment?
The interesting thing about
go ahead.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Dr. They is that, you can't really chalk up the whole story to Reggie being crazy, not just because of Skinner, recognizing him, but because Mulder has the scene with Dr. They. So unless that's happening entirely in Mulder's mind, which, again, those statues makes it seem like doesn't look like necessarily objective reality that he's walked into there. It might be somewhere in the middle in terms of whether Reggie was telling the truth and he was always part of the X-Files, or if he was kind of mental. Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle where they're all misremembering some truth that's kind of in between.
I like to think that maybe Reggie was a part of the group, but their final case where the alien comes down, there's no way that happened. right? There's absolutely no way that's reality.
I don't know, like, really? Why not? What is it really that far from reality? He was saying real words that a real president said. So, like, how far away from reality can it be?
I love that was a great moment where he's like, "You Earthlings are bringing drugs, you're bringing crime, and some, I assume, are good people." What did you think of the moment where Mulder is screaming, "I'm Fox Mulder! I'm Fox freaking Mulder!" I kind of loved that, and I can't wait for all the memes that are and gifs that are going to pop up.
Yeah, I love that too. I really, really love that.
Yeah, I love that where the younger FBI agents are accusing him of being the man now.
Yeah. And what was with the Ghostbusters car?
I don't know. Yeah, random.
I feel like we should all watch this episode 5 times in a row because I know there's things that we're missing. Like, did you notice the cactus?
Yeah, this
in all the scenes.
This feels.
I was gonna say real quick that all the scenes where he's like at the FBI and then the DOJ and Homeland Security and all that. There's always a cactus on his desk that keeps dying slowly by slowly. It keeps getting deader and deader. And then at the final little bit of flash of memory was a fake cactus. He finally just got a fake one. I loved stuff like that.
I was just saying that this episode, I didn't even notice that the cactus thing, but it's one of those things that I like about the X-Files. And I mentioned David Lynch earlier in one of our previous Slugfests, just talking about how David Lynch should really direct the season of the X-Files, and it's really not far off because if you think about the FBI agent investigating mysterious disturbances. You're not necessarily sure what reality is. Twin Peaks was very much, a kind of a grandfather to, or really kind of a stepfather, like only a few years before the X-Files started. And this episode,
1 year.
Yeah, and this episode has those kinds of, mysteries and those little signals that you're not quite in the reality you think you are, and very much I felt like Dale Cooper would have fit like a glove in this episode. They should have Kyle MacLachlan just do a guest spot as like Dave Hooper or something, just as a nod.
That would be great. And David Duchovny actually popped up on Twin Peaks, so there is already kind of a connection there. I don't want David Lynch to direct a whole season. That's kind of crazy. I'll give him 1 episode. Let's see what he can do with one.
Yeah. My favorite part of I just remembered my favorite part of the episode, apart from the alien at the end, was when Scully just said, like, "Nope, I'm done." And she kind of started to walk back. It was like, what she was doing is what a lot of the audience was probably doing at that point.
Right. And I did love her final line of the episode where she's like, I don't want to eat it. I just want to remember the good times. And I'm like, this is they had to have known she was leaving. Like, that's such a final Gillian Anderson season line I just loved. Okay, well, any final thoughts before we wrap up here? It's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Rob hated it. Daniel loved it.
Oh man!
Just so for any Gillian Anderson fans out there, just forward this to her and remind them that Rob Licuria hates Gillian Anderson and everything she does. Obviously.
Oh my god!
No,
we're good buddies.
You've chatted with her before, Rob, right? Back in how long ago did you interview?
Oh, it's been 3 times, and it's been a while. So I think I'm ready for my 4th.
All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you again next week for episode 5.